Alrighty then. Here we. Did I just date myself? Yeah, I wasn't a kid when that movie came out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably younger than me. Everybody my age saw the movie. Alrighty then. Anyway, got my new issue. Well, it's actually a few days old because I don't rush home and shoot a video immediately as soon as I get some of this brush off of the top of my coffee cup cover here. See what's showing there. Ballarat. Oh, do I have some stories from Ballarat? Used to be a town in the desert near Trona, which most of you probably never heard of either. It's a small town, but it's still a small town. Ballarat? No, you can't call it a town. They don't have their post office anymore. I loved it out there when I was a kid. I'm an old desert rat. Anyway, we'll start off with Megan ditches dying dad at Christmas. Megan. Who cares? Moving right along. Epstein and Clinton's bromance exposed. Wow, imagine that. Two guys that had put their willy in anything that moved and a lot of things that don't. True? Who knows? Nobody will ever know. Bill's not admitting to anything, and I'm thinking that Epstein is not admitting to anything either at this point. Foot rubs and secret vacations. Wouldn't surprise me. It would disgust me, but it wouldn't surprise me. Natalie Wood murder scene photos. How long ago is it? 44 years. This is like the, what's that, the little girl that got murdered. Colorado, was it? My memory is shot. Hitting the head too many times. I don't know. I've worn a helmet for motorcycling and even for bicycling and a hard hat at work for decades. Started wearing helmets in 1969 because I was 12 years old, and I had a terrible crash and fractured my skull and realized that helmets are really a good way to go, even if you're not on a motorcycle. I was on a mini bike. But anyway, yeah, head injury is bad. We know this for a fact. But anyway, I'm getting off track too far right here. And I'm about to get off track some more because it's talking about Robert Wagner breaks down in cold confession. I haven't got in there and read the article yet, but I doubt it. Robert Wagner, I met him once back in the 80s. I was driving, delivering man lifts and small cranes for a company, Mobile Scaffolding, out of La Mirada. And we delivered a lot to the studios. And I was in whatever studio it was, one of the Hollywood studios, I don't even remember. Doesn't matter. Parked my truck and trailer and had the hydraulic drop tail on it and dropped the tail and was delivering a 60-foot boom lift for the studio. The place that I had found that had enough distance for me to be able to unload off the back and have room and you know, not endanger any other vehicles or the property or people or anything. Just happened to be in front of some of the bungalows, I guess they called them. And now the 60-foot boom lift, if you're not familiar with a boom lift, this is the lift that takes people up to work on things, and it's a small basket on the end of a boom. That's why they call it a boom lift, as opposed to a scissor lift, which is a platform that can be small, it can be big, whatever, and it goes straight up off of its chassis. The boom lift, you can reach out. It's like a crane for people instead of loads, and the people are the load. But anyway, to get this machine off the back of the trailer, so the back of the trailer is a fairly steep ramp. I think it was about 10 feet long. You have to get the boom up in the air to give ground clearance for when the machine angles back off of the ramp there. So the machine is 2-3 feet off the ground on the trailer. You're way up off the ground from there on the in the basket on the boom. So when you back down, the basket comes way down. And after a while with experience, you learn how high you have to get it to make sure you clear the ground. You don't want it slamming into the ground when you come back, because when your back wheels come off of the flat part of the trailer onto the ramp, the steel part of the trailer, sometimes you'll lose traction and you slide over about 8 feet of the ramp. If it's wet or off level or any kind of conditions that are going to, cause additional problems, you'll hook a cable to it and use your winch remote and bring it down that way. It's much safer. But it didn't have any of those conditions, so I was just backing it down, freewheeling it. So as it started to slip, you slide that 8 feet at a much faster rate than you would ordinarily. And then when the rear wheels, the rubber hits the asphalt, the back end of the machine stops. Now with you out there on this, not extended, but out on this boom, up in the air like that, when the back wheels hit the ground and the back of the machine comes to a stop, the front wheels lift up off of the trailer and then bounce back down. It's quite a ride. As I'm doing this, Robert Wagner's walking out of his bungalow. And he probably saw me out the window, and he came out to say hello, and because from what I could see, it's not like I got to know the guy or anything, but from what I could see, he seemed to be a genuinely nice guy. And he was just coming out to say hello, to watch what I was doing, because it's something that's out of his ordinary sphere of things. And so he was interested in it. I do the same thing. A lot of people, if you see something that's not part of your daily routine, you want to go watch. So he was watching me, and wham, I'm bouncing around in a basket and everything, and get it settled down and bring the front end down onto the ground and bring the basket down and climb out. And he comes walking over there, and I'm not one of those starstruck, celebrity devoted people. I treat celebrities like I would anybody else, and like I would hope they would treat me. Some of them do, some of them don't. Like I say, he seemed like a genuinely nice guy. He said, well, that looked like a lot of fun. I said, oh yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the job. I like getting tossed around like that, and when you would deliver a machine to a customer, you've got to take one of the company's employees, whoever's going to be using the machine, you check them out on the machine. You got to go all the way up as high as it'll go, spin it around, make sure all the limit switches are functioning right and everything, and that person is okay with operating it. So I spent a lot of time way up in the air on that job, and I enjoyed it. The $10 an hour, no benefits. 2 years I was out of there. But anyway, Robert Wagner seemed like a genuinely nice guy to me. There was no signs of drug use or alcoholism or any of that kind of nonsense. But it says here they've got new. I got off track again, didn't I? Natalie Wood murder scene photos. Crack cocaine. Well, when I first saw that, I looked it up. I was right. It didn't seem right to me, crack cocaine, 44 years ago, so I looked it up. Crack cocaine emerged in the United States in the mid-1980s as a smokable form of cocaine, becoming popular due to its affordability and the intense high it produced. I don't think big-name movie stars in Hollywood have to worry about the affordability part. They can just buy cocaine. Yep, got to have something warm to drink here. It's what we consider cold here in Bakersfield. Low 50s, overcast. It rained this morning. Miserable, miserable weather. I know. You're back east. You're thinking, man, I wish I had some miserable weather like that. But anyway, looks like Whitney Houston's drug den. Yeah. When somebody's at the Whitney Houston level, you can see it. We didn't see any of that in Natalie Wood, did we? Turning the page. Can Jess be saved? Jess, in his Batman t-shirt. Jess. Yeah, this is leg discoloration could mean trouble, an expert says. An expert? I'm no expert, and I look at, let's see if we can get that part on there. Okay. Yeah, if your legs start getting discolored like that, you're in a bad way. Diabetes, basically. And if he doesn't take care of it, he's going to die. Now, who's Jess? I don't know. Brolin's son. Let's see. James Brolin. His Moneybag's wife, Barbara Streisand. That shows just exactly how disconnected I am from the Hollywood scene. I didn't know they were Barbara Streisand? Oh. Can't stand the woman. Anyway. Yeah. It said 2011, Jess was reportedly hunkering down in his 1981 pickup after the trust fund he inherited from his and Josh's late mother, Jane Agee, ran out. And 3 years later, he was said to be bedding down on the street. Don't blow the trust fund. Invest it. Learn how to take care of yourself, maybe. Go to school. Learn how to be your own person, not living off the trust fund. Yeah. He probably won't live too much longer. Whatever. Tara takes a tumble. Tara Reid appears half-baked. Yeah? Let's see if I can get the glare off of that. Half-baked looks about right. Gee, a Hollywood star acting stupidly. Imagine that. Excuse me. News flashes. First Lady, okay, here's where I need my glasses. First Lady Melania Trump has launched a production company, Muse Films, whose first offering is Melania, an upcoming documentary about her life leading up to the second inauguration of her hubby, President Donald Trump. Best First Lady we ever had. Macaulay Culkin claims he was put in harm's way as a youngster while making 1991 tearjerker My Girl. Never heard of it. Being filmed with live bees jumping into an alligator-filled lake. Yeah, right. Anyway, moving right along. Former talk show host Ellen DeGeneres are planning a Hollywood comeback. Yeah, there's still dummies that'll pay attention to her. Derek Blasberg dumps on Goop Gal Gwyneth Paltrow after diarrhea. Do I want to read any further? Diarrhea drama. The guest is said to have soiled a bed in Gwyneth Swanky Hampton's estate. I don't think I want to continue on with that. Jennifer Aniston is mesmerized by her hypnotist boyfriend Jim Curtis, but is still also close with ex-hubby Justin Theroux and sees him for occasional catch-ups. And this matters in whose life? Jennifer Aniston's a genuinely good-looking woman, but it looks like Justin has run off and found himself another genuinely good-looking woman. Never heard of Justin. Anyway, Jerry's a health nut. Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, 71 years old. Damn. I didn't know that. He's a little bit older than me. Is paranoid about his health and plagued by nightmarish worries that he could develop dementia. And when you get to this age, I mean, I'm more worried. I'm paying more attention to my health now. I've lost 50 pounds in the last year, and I feel much better for it. And that's not paranoia. He intends to keep performing live as long as he can, and that requires real physical strength. I wish him the best. He's a good comedian. I always liked his stuff. Billionaire bimbo. Kim discovers she has holes in her brain. Just fill them up with silicone. Nothing to worry about. Anybody that cares about Kim Kardashian probably also cares about the royal family, neither of which has anything to do with your life. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay. House of Cards star Kevin Spacey has been hit with new sex charges by 3 men. The first couple times I did this, I read at least a little bit of something of each story. I'm not going to keep on doing that because this is just Katie and Justin cashing in on love. Astronaut and world leader Justin Trudeau. Who gives a rat's ass? Wicked for better or worse. Again, who cares? I hope to start a family soon. She's going to look ridiculous pregnant. I'm going to take an orange and hold it up to a pencil. You have to nourish the child. Now, I'm not saying that she's too skinny, because I myself, I don't have a problem with skinny women, okay? She might be taking it a little bit too far. I don't think she's at the point of being unhealthy, but she's probably not. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. Beloved actress Diane Keaton mansion is up for sale. $27 million. 2 months after her death. Death. No, she's not deaf. She wasn't deaf. Her death at age 79. Jerry O'Donnell. Never heard of him. NYPD Blue. Never watched it. Masked singer Jenny McCarthy may have wanted a disguise herself. Oh, okay. Took me. What? Hush. When a ceramic dental implant triggered horrific mouth infections. After undergoing 9 surgeries, she's finally able to eat solid food. Sorry she's going through that. As expected, it was nothing important. So anyway, turning the page. Okay. Arrested Development. Cops getting busted by other cops. If a cop is doing something illegal, any other good cop is going to bust him or her. That's why there's really very few good, truly good cops. If you know any cops, ask them, have you ever arrested another cop? Most haven't. But every cop out there, if he's going to be honest, will admit, if he's going to be honest, that he's seen other cops do things that were wrong, and he did nothing about it. How many cops are going to be honest about that? 16,000 cops were arrested over the past 16 years. That's really not that many. That's 1,000 a year. That's 3 a day. In a country of how many million? Local police, which excluded federal law enforcement, counted a total of 19,405 arrests of 16,000 officers from 2005 to 2020. Making a big deal out of this. It should be a lot more. Cops break the law fairly often, and the reason that they do it is because they know they're going to get away with it. Okay. Now, if I could turn these pages here. Let's see here. Suzanne Summers says there was nothing artificial about me. She was not my favorite from the show. The only show that anybody knows anything about her from. Okay. Brought back to life by her widower, Alan Hamill, in the form of a hologram based on decades of... Why? Hulu cashing in on Kim's TV stinker. Wannabe lawyer Kim Kardashian's critically bashed legal drama. All's fair. Never heard of it. Cash and Carey. Mariah Carey. It's Christmas season. I don't want to hear anything else about Mariah Carey. Sad Dad Elton's Circle of Life. I didn't know he had kids. Great musician. He's in some interesting clips. If yeah, I'll throw in links to some clips that I've seen on YouTube where Elton John is there and you didn't expect him to be there. Some cool stuff. Andy's olive branch irks Powell Anderson. Andy Cohen attempted to make peace with funny lady Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin is not funny. Hollywood closes book on RFK wife Hines. Shadow cast on hubby's controversial takes and an alliance with Republican President Donald Trump. Cheryl is now being iced out by her fellow Tinseltown liberals. That's the way liberals are. You're not allowed to have your own opinions. You're not allowed to believe what you believe. You must say and do exactly as the liberals say, or they will shun you. Natalie Wood, scene of the crime. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Anybody that does know what happened isn't talking now. Booze, booze, more booze. Tinfoil. It's not crack, okay? 44 years ago, it's not crack. Which, as far as I'm concerned, discredits the entire story. Wagner, now 95, has always maintained steadfastly that he denies any wrongdoing in her death. Like I said, we don't know. Total mess. Bloodstain on deck. Mysterious bottles. Drug pipes. Come on, man. Looks pretty good for 95. Yeah, became a person of interest in 2013. The coroner revised Natalie's cause of death to drowning and other undetermined factors. Well, if you're not going to tell us what the undetermined factors were, we don't know much, do we? Sarah shakes down Camilla. Royal family. Who cares? There's Dumbo there. King. The English people are crazy. They're crazy. What? Royalty? What century is this? Anyway. Duchess gives father the worst Christmas present ever. I'm getting old, okay? I can read the word and then a different word comes out of my mouth. Anyway, Duchess Meghan cut off contact with her dad shortly before marrying Harry. Maybe he cut off contact with her. I don't know. Do you know? No, of course you don't. Tina to take over SNL. That thing's still going? Who cares? Richard Simmons' brother and housekeeper clash over fitness guru's $20 million estate. Richard made sure that his longtime housekeeper would be taken care of after his passing, but left her out of his life insurance policy. But you got to try to get more, right? Nobody's going to be fighting over my inheritance or inheriting anything from me. The only thing I don't even technically own them anymore. I already gave them away. The only thing that I have of any value is my 2 giant rocking unicorns. I just want to make sure they're not putting into a museum. They should be out where people can ride them. Slender Man Stabber back in the slammer. The Slender Man. Mental illness. I need to lower that down a little bit. Say mental illness. Read my lips. All right. I may read about that later on. It's probably pretty comical. Morgan Geyser and Charlie Mecca. Charlie with a Charly, as if taking replacing IE with Y makes you a woman. That's not a woman. That's mental illness that person thinks they're a woman. I probably wouldn't recognize them with an unsqueezed photo. Real Housewife of Atlanta. No, nobody cares. Criminal Minds. Zach Guilford. Oh, wait a minute. Evolutions. A newer. In Criminal Minds, I've watched every single episode of Criminal Minds. I started at the beginning, and I just watched them all the way through. That was a great series. I don't know what this Evolutions. I don't know who Zach Guilford is. I don't know who Liana Liberato is. Kelly's Ready for Romance. Kelly Clarkson. Whatever. Unholy Alliance. I'm not a Christian, but these are not good people. All right, damning evidence exposes Clinton and dead perv were pals. We didn't know that? Is this something new? Epstein and Maxwell visited President Clinton at the White House? Yeah, almost 20 times. This is new? Bill Clinton has insisted he cut ties with Epstein 2 decades ago. Evidence proves otherwise, doesn't it, Bill? There's Bill boarding the Lolita Express with Maxwell. Clinton awaiting a flight on, Kevin Spacey was with Bill on the trip to Africa. Yeah, I know. Trump was on the plane too. But evidence shows that he didn't get involved in any of this other stuff. We all know Bill better than that. Jennifer Garner wants to get clingy ex-husband Ben Affleck out of her hair, so she's focused on finding him a new girlfriend. Whatever. I need one of these that works when you're out in the middle of nowhere. I go out riding my e-bike off-road in some pretty isolated areas. I enjoy being out in the desert. Like I said earlier, I'm an old desert rat. And sometimes I wonder, what if I fall down? Well, I mean, I'll have a cell phone, but a lot of the places I go don't have cell service. If I get any more serious about going out there and shooting videos and stuff for my other channel, Quest for Tacos, which covers taco trucks. Yeah, I'm just filling in dead space here while I try to turn the page. Taco trucks, restaurants, travel, and any other adventures or stories that I might have. I'm looking at possibly being out there farther into the desert and spending more time there, tracking down, if I can turn this page, these pages, no, they're not stuck together. Get over it. Anyway, okay, what's my horoscope? You're ready to kick into high gear and make things happen. The New Year's resolution, yeah, I make revolutions, not resolutions. I never made any New Year's resolutions. I have never in my life made a New Year's resolution. Will be tested, so make a pact with yourself to stay on course. I want to spend some more time out in the desert shooting videos. Looking for remnants of abandoned railroads. There's a lot of stuff still out there in the desert, and it may be interesting to you, it may not. But anyway, yeah, link in the description. I'm going to get more out there with the bicycle. I've got my flat tire problem pretty much under control. I'm going to spend some time out in the desert. And but otherwise, it's restaurants, taco trucks, adventure, whatever. FBI accused of crooks behavior. Crooks. Thomas Matthew Crooks allegedly posted violent art and threats to his social media accounts. No duh. Really? You think? We already knew this. Potential cover-up over would-be Trump assassin exposed. America's top lawmen are facing allegations of a cover-up. I haven't trusted the FBI for a long time. It's getting better now that we have some decent people running the place. I'm of mixed opinion about geez, man, I'm terrible with names. I know the guy's name. I'm looking at a picture of him in my head right now. Dan Bongino. I think he did a great job as deputy director. I thought he was going to get put in charge of the Secret Service or something like that, because the Secret Service needs to be worked on also. But I'm conflicted. I liked him being in a high position in law enforcement because he's a good and honorable man. I also like the fact that he's going to be back on the air so I can listen to him again. We're getting towards the end of the page here, or the end of the issue. Let me get my glasses on. Beautiful ladies here. I got to look at the pictures. Ellie Larder, Landman. I watch Landman. Okay. Good looking lady. Rosamund Pike, the Saltburn star. Saltburn? Never heard of it. Carrie Russell, the Diplomat star. Dakota Johnson, the Materialists. Never heard of her or the show. Markella Kavanagh, the 100 Nights of Hero actress. Never heard of her. Never heard of the show. Ashley Benson, the Wilderness actress. Again. Idina Menzel, the Defying Gravity singer. I got to tell you, if I seem completely disconnected with the entertainment world, it's not by accident. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to be somebody who knows all this stuff. But what I'm looking at here is six beautiful women, some of them dressed nicer than the others, and the one in the middle that looks like, what's her name? Rachel Maddow. I wanted to make sure I wasn't really attractive. Tom's Oscar obsession. Tom who? Tom. Give me a last name. Maybe I'll... Tom. Action star. Okay, Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise. Okay. Not really much of a fan. Tom wants to show a different side of himself. Okay, go ahead. Plucky strap hanger follows up rush hour. What? Guy shows up on the New York City subway with a chicken. Most people are not really all that familiar with how birds are. I don't know, did he have it? Okay, if it was in a bag, okay. Scared and stranded. Yeah, the frightened fowl made a foul mess. The car was covered in poultry poop. That's what I was going to talk about. You can't take a bird out in public unless you've got something for it to poop on, because it's gonna poop. You know, I've known people with beautiful parrots with quite the vocabulary and personality, and I see the YouTube videos. They got personality, a lot of them. They're beautiful birds. But if you're going to walk around with it on your shoulder, you got to have a diaper on there for it to poop on, because they poop a lot, regularly, and they don't care where. You can't potty train a bird. And somebody's probably going to show me a link to a video where somebody potty trained a bird. I guess maybe I doubt that it can be done, but if it has been done, it hasn't been done very often. Birds poop. Plain and simple. All right. Anyway, we're at the end of the newspaper. Dave Thomas Foundation. Dave Thomas, that's the founder of Wendy's, right? You know, a lot of people give billionaires and millionaires, multimillionaires, a bad time. They act like none of them worked for it. And sure, there's some out there that didn't work for it. They inherited or whatever. Most millionaires and billionaires give back to the community a lot more than you know about. It's like, I'm not a fan of McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's when I need a burger. I go to a mom and pop shop or something like that, and McDonald's is not my place. People make a big stink about how much money McDonald's has made over the years. You know how much money McDonald's has put into the Ronald McDonald houses? I took my giant rocking horses on a trip across the country and back, stopping in different locations and playing with special kids, special needs kids, doing fundraisers for them, just doing whatever I could in my own small way to help special kids. Kids that were sick with terrible diseases. And a lot of the places that we stopped were Ronald McDonald houses. And you talk to these people and get to know them a little bit and see what they do for the families of kids that are really in a bad way. The parents and family of kids that are really, really sick and need to travel across the country to a hospital that specializes in what they have, whatever their problem is. If you can take some stress off of that family to let them concentrate on their child, you're doing a good thing. And they take the families of these kids that are seriously ill and take care of them. They're living in conditions at the Ronald McDonald House quite often much better than they have at home. Okay? The Ronald McDonald House doesn't take care of the sick child. They're in a hospital. But each Ronald McDonald House is connected to a hospital that does excellent work with children. I learned a lot. And I have the utmost respect for the Ronald McDonald House organization and McDonald's, which supports them. That's a lot of money going into there. These places are beautiful, and they take good care of people. And they're good people. I had a lot of direct interactions with people higher up at the various locations. They are there because they want to take care of people. So, Dave Thomas, I'm assuming that's the Dave Thomas that's the founder of Wendy's. Doing something for foster kids and kids that have grown up in a foster family. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. There's another Ballarat sticker. And there is a sticker for my other YouTube channel. Don't click on the QR code though. It doesn't connect you to anything. We got ripped off. Bought the QR code online, and it turned out to be a shady company. And then I buy 500 stickers, and then they shut it off, and they can't get it turned back on. Quest for Tacos. Link in the description. I'm just having fun in my retirement. Maybe it'll make money someday. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm having fun. And that's exactly what you should do. Have fun.